Protein. How much do you need, ladies and gentlemen, to build beautifully sculpted muscles, even if you're in your 60s or 70s, while getting the fat off your body and not feeling like you're going crazy trying to still figure out how many exact grams of protein do I need? I'm so confused. Well, today I've got the holistic fitness nurse, Lauren Lilly, co-hosting with me to bring a lot of clarity to this topic, which we've been getting bombarded with in the Q&A requests on the TikTok live sessions. Lauren, welcome back. It's good to have you here again.
Thank you so much.
All right. So again, in rapid fire fashion, we're going to try to keep this short, tight. And so for you ladies and gentlemen who really want the inside scoop on how much protein you actually need, we're going to give it to you quick and easy. We're going to give you the links at the end where you could go follow through, follow up and see what we're talking about, read more up on certain studies that we're going to share, where to connect with the holistic fitness nurse, Lauren Lilly, if you want to, and where you can come connect with me and get the free newsletter and be in tune with everything we're doing from here forward, including future Q&A episodes covering all the topics people have been requesting that they're still confused and frustrated on. We're going to be tackling them one at a time, and we'll tell you where to get tuned into those toward the end of this short, powerful podcast episode. All right, Lauren is first going to be talking about what the ladies need to know, and then guys, I'm going to help her give you the scoop on what you men need to know about meeting your protein needs properly, safely, and effectively. So Lauren, where are we starting with the ladies?
Well, I wanted to start kind of just like an overall for both, but then I do have some specific notes for the women.
Perfect.
So moderate protein intake, 20 to 30 per meal is really like your basic thing that you need to know.
That's like a broad generalization.
Yeah. Because anything beyond this range, the body will use for other metabolic processes and not muscle building. So if you're looking to build muscle and they're telling you, you need to eat like 40 or 50 grams per meal, like it's actually, you're just wasting calories.
Especially if you're a smaller person.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And most people don't know, even though protein is low carb, it still stimulates insulin to be released. So if you're eating 40 or 50 grams every 2 to 3 hours, like a lot of the mainstream people will tell you to do, over time, like it may take years, you can become insulin resistant because of that, because you're constantly having to release insulin every 2 to 3 hours to digest 40 or 50 grams of protein.
Right.
So I think people need to understand that, like they're like, oh, I have to get all my protein in and I have to do what 200, like we talked about before, 200 grams per day. And it's actually not doing you any good.
Right.
By over consuming protein. Yes, we do need it. Yes, it is necessary for muscle building, but you can go a little far with it. So 20 to 30 per meal is a good number to just remember.
Right. It's a good baseline to start with. And we'll get into the nuances of how you personally can figure out how to adjust things based on your specific makeup, your specific point in your fitness journey, your body composition journey. But that's a baseline we're going to start with here in this conversation.
Yeah. And then when I say insulin resistance, I just mean that it's basically like a metabolic condition of the body where the cells become less responsive to insulin. So over time, you can actually, that's how people become diabetic over time. So that's what I mean by insulin resistance, just over consuming any kind of calories, but protein does count even though it is low carb.
Right.
And the type of protein also matters. We talk about this a lot on the live.
Yes.
On your TikTok live. People will be eating, consuming, like I said, every 2 to 3 hours protein, but it's like non-organic, those animals, if it's not organic, grass-fed, pasture-raised, those kinds of terms, those animals are fed GMO feed and given antibiotics and steroids to make them grow faster so they can produce more meat.
Right.
And so whatever that animal ate is what you're putting into your body.
Right. However that animal was raised
Yeah.
is is what you're consuming. And a lot of people don't understand this. Like anything you consume becomes the new cells that make your body in that cellular turnover process. So if you're eating animals raised in the industrialized, high volume, high chemical use, inhumane standards, if you're consuming that stuff, that all that material is becoming the new cells of your body, right?
Yeah.
My theory for how people develop all kinds of diseases and the unexplainable cancers, it's because of the mass consumption of these very, very cheap, easy to produce and high volume, quote unquote, foods that most of the marketplace is consuming. So, very good point there. Very good point.
Yes, and a lot of people will be like, "Oh, well, they look really good." I'm like, "Yes, they do, but they're probably inflamed on the inside and they don't even really know." So,
Right.
like in 5 or 10 years, if they're still doing that, they're still eating that kind of food, um, something is going to give at some point. Like your body can only handle so much inflammation and non-quality food. Like those meats are not quality. So you want to stay away from that. And you also want to integrate plant-based protein sometimes too. Like you and
Yes.
I do, we have plant-based nights where we don't even eat meat that night.
Right.
You can alternate those days and those are going to
Mhm.
give you some great results. That's what
Oh,
I've
yeah.
noticed about my own.
Yes. Yes. So that, like, you and
Yours.
I, we consider ourselves plant-based. So the plants are the foundation of our nutritional approach. It doesn't mean we're vegetarian or vegan. We eat our animal proteins, but we're very selective and we're very conscious of the ones we are consuming when we do. And that
Mhm.
being said, on the other side of the coin, when it's a plant-based day, the myth that, oh, you can't get enough protein from plant-based sources, you and I know darn well we can get way more than we need through proper plant-based sources once we know what they are and what our choices are.
Mhm.
And so the plant-based sources do count in this macro requirement.
Yeah, and I think you actually absorb the plant-based protein a little bit easier. Your body has to work at the meat and stuff. It takes longer,
Right. For
I
some
guess.
people, very true, very true. Some people, um, they've had to even be very choosy about the types of animal proteins they consume because of that factor.
Mhm.
Good point.
Yeah. And then obviously we stay away from processed meats. I mean, in moderation, the processed meats, you're not going to be eating lunch meat, every single day. Like that's not a good
Right.
protein source.
Unless it's a really good, let's
Organic one. Yes.
super clean organic, like that's a very different choice we're talking about, because you could go to the supermarket and you could get a cold cut turkey for, like, I don't know, 2.99 a pound, and
Mhm.
then you can get a super clean, quality produced organic turkey breast for like 9.99 a pound. And yes, it's much more expensive, but you don't need as much as you think you do. It's You're investing in your health, you're
Yeah.
preventing diseases, and you're giving your body and brain what it needs to reach the goals you're actually trying to reach for yourself, making your life easier, making that investment make a lot more sense.
Yeah. I occasionally will eat organic turkey
Mm,
just
yeah.
because Jojo loves it as a treat.
Oh, I get it. There's some really good ones that taste like
Sure.
something made this in.
Yes. Yes, he goes crazy for it. Like we use it as training treats
Oh,
sometimes.
understood.
And then I've got notes for the women. So especially for the women, older. So when I say older, I'm not saying old. I'm just saying 45 and up.
Relatively
Um,
speaking.
yeah. So you actually do need a slightly higher protein intake due to the changes in your metabolism as your hormones decline and the muscle mass as well. So if you increase your as you approach, if you're in perimenopause especially, and then menopause, you want to slowly start increasing your protein a little bit so you can counteract those changes of your metabolism, the loss of muscle mass, the declining hormones. So it really helps to preserve your lean muscle. When we get older, we also become less responsive to the body's intake of protein. So that's
Yes.
why we need a little bit more as we get older.
Right.
Um, Protein plays a role in bone health for women and
Mm.
men, because it's a key component of the formation of collagen. So collagen is important for the structure of your bones, your ligaments, your tendons. So it's very good
Absolutely.
for your bone health too.
Yes.
Um, so that so that means adequate protein can reduce the risk of fractures and osteoporosis for women, which is
If
a big
that's aligned with
it's a
proper
big thing in menopause. Yes. In menopause, a lot of women will have osteoporosis, or their doctor will say they do. So you want to make sure you're getting your protein intake,
right.
and it works synergistically. So together with calcium and vitamin D for bone health.
Yes.
Does it boosts metabolism? So it increases thermogenesis, the fat burning. Um, just through digesting it,
Right.
you burn more calories um, digesting protein.
Yes.
It's filling. It manages your appetite, so it's more filling. I mean, obviously you want fiber sources too, but protein is filling, and it helps to prevent overeating when you get enough protein.
Right.
Um, it aids in tissue repair and inflammation. So, whenever you're building muscle, you want to repair the muscle, you have to eat protein. And also, if you were to have surgery or an injury of some kind, like you need protein to help aid in the recovery and healing of your body.
Right. Right. So hold that thought, because I want to explain this to people. When you eat your proteins, doesn't matter what the sources are, your protein macro foods get broken down in the digestive process, broken down into the individual base amino acids. It's like the most simplest structures of the protein broken down, and those amino acids then get uptaken by the body to be reformatted into the body's tissue, into muscle tissue, the bone tissue, ligaments, tendons, skin, hair, nails, etc. So that my point I've made in the past, I'm not a big fan of collagen, especially all the mass market nasty collagens out there. Your collagen has to still be broken down into amino acids ultimately. So it's not providing, in my eyes, in the research I've looked at and the experiences I've had with clients, is that you still have to get your protein requirements to get those amino acids into your body. So if you're skipping some food protein to fit the collagen into your stomach, you're not putting any magic into your body. You're actually better off taking the food-based protein requirements to get those amino acids that are still going to give you the basics for collagen creation in your body structure, the collagen of your body structure, right? Because it still has to come from the amino acids that get broken down ultimately. Really good to highlight that so people have a better understanding of, well, how does this protein actually become my muscle tissue, become my ligaments, become bone tissue, become tendons? It's the raw material. You're providing the raw material, and the better quality raw material you provide, the better the amino acid quality you're going to be giving your body to rebuild all the structures, recover, build more muscle density, muscle tone, hair, nails, skin, etc. So good point on bringing that up, Lauren.
Yes, and a lot of the collagen powders have heavy metals and stuff in them, and
Yes.
people don't understand that, and they see the ones that are mostly advertised, like the really popular ones. Those are the ones with the worst
Right.
metals in them.
Yeah.
I don't think you absorb the powder like very well.
No,
I drink bone broth for collagen. Like that is an excellent source of collagen. Just so
yeah.
ladies know, because it will help your skin. I mean, I my skin has not aged like in the last, I don't know how long, 'cause I've been doing the bone broth. I do it every single day. That's the first thing I drink in the morning.
Yeah, you could see it. I mean, that's one of the reasons why you're looking the way you look. I mean, it's obvious to me. I've seen you over the past bunch of years. But if anybody's wondering, man, yeah, she does look young. My lord, she's telling you some of the secrets right now that are facts to us, but most people just don't know this stuff yet, or they're confused about the specifics, which is why we're going into the specifics here. So if you're listening to this on an audio feed like Apple Podcasts or the other podcast players, Spotify, what have you, make sure you come check out the video show at www.midlifemusclepodcast.com. You're going to want to see this on video. Trust me. All right. What do you got next on that list?
Um, just, I mean, so many people ask like, how much protein do I need to eat it per day? And it's like people, you go and Google it and there's all these different numbers and there's all this controversy and there's all these trainers telling you to eat your body weight in protein. And it's just all over the place. And
Yeah.
it's not a set number. It's really individualized.
Yes.
You like what we talked about earlier, you want to start with what you said, 75% of your body weight. Like for example, especially for perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause, like you want to do what Joey says, 75% at least, but you can actually increase it just by looking at yourself in the mirror. Do you want to gain more muscle? Do you want to lose more fat? Like maybe you need to increase it a little bit and just kind of play with the number,
Right.
not go by what the person says on Google.
Right. So this is all
Yeah, every person is completely different, how
right.
they metabolize it, things like that. So you just need to be more like intuitive to what your body needs.
Yes. So this is why so many people were asking and still ask this question on like the TikTok lives or Facebook. This is another part of the nuance to why we're answering these questions with the more ambiguous side of the equation being covered. See, you can have your answers, but they're not absolute answers. That's your starting point. Okay, so like we're talking about 75% of your body weight in grams of protein, meaning I'm around 100 and almost 130 pounds, give or take. So I aim for about 100 grams of protein per day. All right, now that doesn't mean the next guy should take the same exact approach. It's a good baseline to start with, and it may end up being, oh, I'm like that too. And here's how we do this. And this is the same way I work with my female coaching clients. First, we establish a baseline. All right. And after that baseline is established based on their past history, their recent nutrition intake, and what I think we should be starting at, now we're getting into proper training, better supplementation, supplementation simplification, and better utilization of all nutrients being taken in through proper fitness training now, right? And now we can see, does this protein baseline still make sense, right? And so how are we determining that? We're determining that by how is their body composition changing. If they're a person who needs to lose body fat, we're watching, is the body fat coming off while they're seeing nice muscle development. If they're a weight gain, skinny fat reversal client, are we seeing the skinny fat change into like a toned, firm, more athletic type looking body? Which, if all those things are happening, and the same thing goes for the guys, are they developing a more athletic, firm, toned, stronger physique as the weeks are progressing? We at least know the baseline is in a good zone for that person, right? And if we see that things either slow down or quote unquote plateau after enough time to determine that, then we can say, okay, you're training consistently, you're doing way more than before you started with us. Now we know your requirements may actually be even higher because now you're out walking 3 miles a day total, where you used to be doing 0 on top of your good fitness training now, your resistance training. So maybe you do need more. So now we'll maybe adjust it. Maybe their metabolism has gotten higher since we started. And so we might adjust upward. Okay, let's add 20 more grams of protein per day total on top of where we started, right? So this this goes back to what you were saying, is taking that more intuitive approach. Start somewhere, pay attention to everything, see how you're looking, see how you're feeling, see how you're progressing, and then make the adjustments as necessary based on that establishment of the baseline that you've put in place for yourself.
Yes. And
Right.
I'm 43, so I still have a normal woman's cycle. It's different depending on the phase of my cycle. Sometimes I have less protein for this week, and sometimes I have more the next week. It depends on like the cycle. And that is something that women should consider, that still have a normal cycle,
Right.
is try to cycle sync, which is a whole nother podcast that we could probably do. People might be interested in that, because that's
Absolutely.
something that I helped. It really helped me, even not just with protein, but with carbs too.
Mm,
So I kind
right.
of cycle carbs in and out, like more this time of the month, less this time of the month, more protein, things like that. And
Right.
it really helps a lot.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
it's really just getting to know you and your body and your needs, and how are you feeling? Do you have enough energy? Are you building muscle like you said? Are you losing fat? Are you liking the way you look? It
Mm,
all like goes together.
yeah, absolutely. So just one more point on that. Like, as an example, you take this could go for male or female. Take a woman or a man who has a desk job, and they're doing their fitness training either early in the morning or in the evening, or they're splitting it up, versus a man or a woman who has a manual labor job where they're physically active the entire day because of their work requirements. And then they're also adding their fitness training on top of that. Those people, generally speaking, are going to have two very different protein requirements because of the lifestyle factors alone, right?
Yeah.
So again, it's not an absolute answer for each of those groups. It's a nuanced answer depending on their specific lifestyle, their output, and their personal metabolic needs,
Their
right? So
age, yeah, and their age, and there's so
yeah,
many different factors that could come into that.
yes, absolutely. Awesome. This has been really helpful. Is there anything that we still have to cover on the protein, or should we share any resources now?
That's it. That's all I had down for my notes.
Awesome. So if any of you watching right now, if this triggers any questions, you just like what we covered, how we covered it, and you found it helpful, please let us know that in the comments. If you want more resources on proteins, we could certainly pull a few studies and share those links in the comment section. All you have to do is ask. And if you want to follow Lauren, again, what's the best place for people to go follow you as of now on a social channel?
As of right now, just TikTok. Just find me under Lauren Lilly 133. But I am working on other platforms as we speak. So
Yes,
hopefully
we mentioned.
soon those will be out.
Yeah, so you got the website in the works and the YouTube channel, The Holistic Fitness Nurse. That's in the works. So go follow her on TikTok if you use TikTok. If you don't and you're waiting patiently for the YouTube channel, we understand. All you have to do is go to www.midlifemusclenews.com. That's the free newsletter. And I will send out notifications once her YouTube channel is live and has the first few videos up there for you to go enjoy. Learn more about Lauren, her before and after story, her current progress story, and all the ways that she's helping people now, especially women who need to go into the low tox lifestyle to really clean up their surroundings, to help them get better results the easier way, and make sure that they're not living a counterproductive lifestyle that's working against their goals, but doing things that are helping them reach their goals, regardless of age and past history and current fitness status. How's that sound? Good?
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Lauren, you've been a huge, huge help. This is good. All right. So I think we got a bunch more Q&As in the list for the next few episodes lined up. So if you want to tune into those, join me, co-host fitness nurse, holistic fitness nurse Lauren, for the next few episodes. Make sure you subscribe. share your gratitude, share your appreciation. Let us know what you liked. Let us know what you want to hear more of it. And if you have a question that you would like to see us answer, like we did today in a future episode, please just post that question in the comments and we'll do our best to get it on the list and answer it as concisely and efficiently as we can. All right. Thanks, Lauren. See you later.
Thank you. Talk to
Peace.
you later.
Much love.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.